từ đâu quê của em ở Vũ Hán đang bình yên bỗng chốc thoát ra.
Chắc chắn ta nên nâng cao cảnh giác, đừng để ai may phát tác.
Chắc chắn ta nên quyết tâm từ xa để dịch bệnh không bùng cháy lên. Cùng giơ tay xoa 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 đều, đừng nên cho tay lên mắt mũi miệng, và hạn chế đi ra nơi đông người để lùi virus corona. Không nâng cao sức khỏe và vệ sinh không gian xung quanh mình, đừng nâng cao ý thức của xã hội để lùi virus corona.
Try not to rock out to that.
Tuy nhiều bên mà em rất ẩn nát, bao người phải che phủ chính em.
Tuy rằng khó nhưng toàn dân đang cố gắng, không để em tiếp tục lớn thêm.
Chắc chắn ta nên nâng cao cảnh giác, đừng để em mê phát tác. Chắc chắn ta nên quyết tâm từ xa để dịch bệnh không bùng cháy lên. Giơ tay xoa 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 đều, đừng nên cho tay lên mắt mũi miệng, và hạn chế đi ra nơi đông người để lùi virus corona. Không nâng cao sức khỏe và vệ sinh không gian xung quanh mình, đừng nâng cao ý thức của xã hội để lùi virus corona.
There you go, Frank. There. Introduce. Oh, they kissed it. It's as if they're both fucking infected now.
Oh, brother. Yeah.
I got on him just at the right time. I switched over to you and you were going. Just total disappointment in your fucking eyes. See,
funny.
Frank always picks his like hardcore rock songs or some sort of like rap epic or something. And like I've told him, if he wants to stream this shit, he's got to stop picking copyright music, which they haven't really been claiming the song, I think, because it spreads awareness. But this isn't monetized channel anyways, so we don't really run too much risk. If this was my monetized channel, I probably wouldn't have played that whole song like that. Maybe just a quick little snippet of it for a little jam session, but that would be about it.
It's definitely
but yeah,
something
we've
you have
got
to
Craven
watch.
in the audience there watching live. Sorry, Frank, go ahead. What were you gonna say, bud?
I said it's definitely something you got to watch, because it's unless you speak Korean, which more power to you.
We're loving it. Don't worry. Those people podcasting, there was people that were drilling holes in walls, they were building things, and they were like, Corona, that's how it works. They were excited. You have no idea. People love it. Honestly, all jokes aside, I just have to, like, this part right here, like, I have to do it. Like, this part right here, it's like, try not to jam for this part. This is all I'm saying.
Dude, I was going, it was
Corona. Gotta make it fun, Tell those kids to wash their hands. It's like, kids, don't touch anything. And they're like, run the hand along the railing. What? And you're like, oh, it's good.
Dude,
get on an airplane. That's a great place for you.
With the amount of self-mutilation I do to my fingers and shit, I'm fucked.
Well, I got this problem where I like to pick at the edge of my nose like this. And like, I came out of a building and I was like, and you're like, ah! You're like, no! He's like trying to get as much air through there because oxygen kills most viruses. Just start breathing in through your mouth and out through your nose.
Oh,
Just dry the fucker right out. Like until it's crispy in there. Are you frozen? No, you're just not moving. You're just like,
I'm reading your latest YouTube post. What is this?
oh, what, me as a clown? That's beautiful, isn't it? Do you see me in there? Took me a while to figure out that was my face in there. This is a genuine reaction from somebody who hadn't seen it yet. That's great.
I graduated Craig's School for Circus Entertainers. Yearbook 2009. That really is you.
Yeah, and he's got a quote in there. Look at Zoo. Like if you look, he's got a quote where it says, "I just want to know if I'm whipping a child mentally." That's me talking about criticizing the flat earthers on that Discord I'm part of. And like I'm like, "You make terrible memes." I said, "Yes, that was something I said. Congratulations." Like it's I don't understand. So then the thing is the way I get them, because they're like the typical, even though they're not very good at it, that's fine. Like I don't feel like they're the bully, but they're like the typical like bully on the schoolyard where like they just say these things hoping that they hurt our feelings. And I'm like, I always know the best way to get at them is just to like not like just like, hey, did you hear that these people called me a fag? And they're like, why would he yell that out? And you're like, because I don't fucking care.
Why would you do that
so
to
they made
yourself?
that of me, and then I posted it to my comment section, and I linked it back to the Discord and said, you guys should check out the comments under this thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to send the stream out on Twitter, and then I see that, and the only thing I can do is share that to Twitter.
Oh, share it. By all means, link me, or at me on Twitter for sure.
I definitely am.
No problem at all. You hold down the talk in front for 1 second. I got to make sure my dog has water because she finished a bone and walked away, and I want to make sure she's not, like, dying.
Do you see how I just coughed, everybody? I just want to say that I never learned how to cough right until I took a fucking cruise, right? I'd always cough into my hands, but you cough like this. Cough like that into your fucking elbow. That's how you don't spread your germs all over the fucking place, because your hands are terrible for that. And I didn't know that until I took a cruise 9 years ago. I was 20 fucking... Oh, no, I was almost 30. Anyway, I'm almost 30, didn't know how to cough right. So there you go. People would just cough, whatever. Anyway, I don't want this whole show to be about that, but it is like everything people talk about. How the hell, what's his... Twitter sucks on the computer. It doesn't bring Skype
I'm back
right away. Yeah.
Don't set the building on fire yet.
Dude,
What have you done to these poor people, Frank?
Can you just ramble off your Twitter handle? Because it's like shaved beef, right? Or something like that.
It's shaved. Well, it's right on the fucking thing in front of you. You're looking at it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I got two computers here, so, you know.
No, that's fair. But yeah, it's at shaved_beeve.
Yeah,
and if you want to play some Warzone, any foos out there want to get smoked in some Warzone, they can fucking find me at Shaved Beaver. Number, I don't remember. It's like 195 something or other. Man, we've come close to winning that new fucking Battle Royale. We've been smoking fools at night. Me and Uni. Not that I have to agree with everything that he posts on his own channel, but this is just games. I'm trying to keep it neutral. There's no lines to be drawn. Just gaming.
Who?
Wait, I'm not invisible still. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna smoke this.
Yeah, because like the way I'm seeing it on my computer through the meets, that my picture, you know, there's like another window over top of you, so I can't see you. So I see me twice pretty much.
Drag that window out of the way.
I can. It's in meets.
I don't know what you're talking about. There's no other windows in meets. Like if you got a window up, then it's something else.
You put it there. I didn't put it there. Do you want me to
you're
share
looking
my
at what
screen?
I'm looking at right now. This is what I get. This is literally my meets window. So what do you have up?
I'll show you.
Show me. Share your screen.
All right. Come on.
Frank is like next to a flurfer when it comes to technical difficulty sometimes, I think.
Shut up. See?
That's Frank, that's you.
That's not me. I can't do anything with that. I tried.
Frank, that's not Frank. That's on yours. In fact, you're presenting to everyone. Do you realize that? Ta-da!
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm still
Yeah,
there.
sorry, that's just joking. That was you. Okay, but Frank, Frank. If you click on the window, it pops up. Like you gotta. I don't understand where you're getting that. Like what's?
Wow, that's a lot of people. Wow, that's a lot of.
Yeah, well, just linking around here.
Yeah, like whatever you just did, I seen like 1,000 Wheel Topic radio desks.
Frank, that little window is a pop-up window. You can close it. There's going to be a button for that, buddy. Come on, buddy.
I didn't put it there, dude.
I believe in you.
I see.
See how you can open up the hamburger and change layout? You know? Maybe you got a different layout going on, bro.
I don't know.
'Cause
What
there's-
should it be on? Spotlight, sidebar, tiled?
I don't know what to tell you, man. The fucking flurfers can figure out how to use this, so you got to try to sort it out, man. It's on your end.
I didn't put it there. I can't. I do like I go over it. Nothing pops
Click,
up.
click. Okay, show me your screen again, then. Jesus. Fuck.
Sorry, Jesus. Like just look at my screen. Like you see the screen in front of you.
What about it? What this? They're presenting to everyone?
I don't know what I'm supposed to show. Like, what do you see?
Well, dude, you're pinned. Hit that pin to screen. You've pinned that to the fucking screen, dude. Dude, in the center of the fucking screen. Damn it.
Oh wow! Look at all
Oh,
that.
you
That's awesome.
Unpin that from the fucking screen. Frank, go back in.
Unpin what, dude?
Go back in so I can see, Frank. We can't solve this because you don't know what you're doing unless you show me. Well, because Frank, pretty soon I have to just ignore the fact that you can't see what's going on. We have to go forward. So let's see what's going on.
Okie dokie. Alrighty.
Okay, so what's the problem? I don't understand what your problem is. What is your issue here?
Okay, what do you see? You just see like a black screen?
Well, I see you are presenting to everyone. Yeah, it just says you are presenting to everyone. Black screen. What about it?
Yeah, that's not what I see.
Well, what do you see, Frank? You got to tell me.
I'm trying to get to it. Like, why? I don't know why it goes to this goddamn screen when I'm trying to show
Because
you.
you're presenting to me. So what do you see? Can you use your words? Tell me. What do you see when you do it?
I'm going to have to just take a picture of it with my phone and send it to you through...
Frank, you haven't tried to tell me what you see. You keep sighing and pretending I won't understand, but you literally have not attempted to tell me what you're seeing.
Okay, now it looks different, but you're gone. I don't see you anywhere.
Well, Frank, what's happening is you're pinning things. You've got to click on that thing on the top. You can pick the different people you're looking at. You're just pinning people.
There's
So
two
what are you
people in
seeing
here.
now?
There's two people in here. There's you, and then there's me.
Okay, but Frank, you're still not telling me. What do you see? My God, how hard is it for you to tell me what's on your screen?
I don't see you on, where
Okay,
you
but
normally
that's
are.
not telling me what you do see. You're just telling me what you don't see now.
Well, that's what's different now. Before I did kind of see you, but then my screen was in front of you. I guess it happened from when you were sharing that video. And that video turned into the video of me, but that's gone now.
I don't
There you go.
understand.
Okay, now it's
I don't.
fixed. It's
Well,
fixed.
but what do you mean? I just made myself vanish like I could smoke some weed a minute ago. Is that what was confusing you?
Okay, yeah. I mean, I guess now that was.
Frank,
confusing.
this is why you got to say I can see the set, but you're not there. You see how words can make things happen, Frank? I'm sorry. But we could have solved this a while ago if you
what
just told me what was going on.
All I'm saying is what I was seeing is gone now, so we're good. I don't know what it. There. What did you just do?
I think-
What did you just do?
Well, Frank, it's you.
I know. That's what I was saying. That's what I saw. That right.
Well, I don't understand how this confuses you. It's just me putting you in the front so people don't have to look over my shoulder. What is it confusing about this?
It was just fucking me up because you've never done it before. That's all. I was just telling you.
I have done this every stream I've ever done. I use this window.
I was just saying, why do I see me twice in front of you? That's all.
But you don't see me
No, I
twice
like
in
it.
front
It's
of
fine.
you.
It's fine. No, it looks good. I like it.
Frank, you're so confusing sometimes, buddy. Listen, I'm going to tell you something about me. When that happens, I want information from you. When things happen, when you're asking me, like, I don't understand why something's working, but you sit there and say nothing to me, I don't like it, because then I can't help you if you don't tell me things. So then we just end up locked in this never-ending thing of, like, it's not working. And I go, okay, well, that's fantastic, but you've told me nothing. So, you know, and then even then you eventually start telling me what you don't see, not what you do see. Like, so Frank, all I'm looking for is information when that happens, because it's the same thing with my dad. He'll sit on the phone. He won't say anything. I'll go, Dad, what are we looking at right now? Well, I've got a bar on the screen. Well, what does the fucking bar say, Dad? Like, tell me. I'm not there. I'm not fucking telepathic. Jesus.
Just
sorry everybody that I get so angry like that, but Frank is like technologically.
Why do you
sometimes
think
Frank
I'm like
is behind the times.
I am just like, no, I don't even want to bother. Like, you know what? I'm just not going to say anything.
What? Well,
You're such an
Frank.
asshole.
All it was is that you pinned something on the screen.
I didn't pin shit. Damn it! I didn't do that. You did.
Or he was just confused about it. You clearly don't watch a lot of my streams, because this window, this little TV drop down comes out in
I haven't
every
seen
stream.
one of your streams in the last few weeks now.
Well, it'd have to be months at this point, dude. I started using this format back in like November, October.
No, I've
Like
seen
this, you know, like I even have a Stream Deck I built myself and everything that runs it.
I'm just pretty sure I've never seen that tile in front of you.
I'm telling you, I've got a button for it. I've had a button since I built this in December after I'd already been using it for weeks.
It wouldn't have made me
Stream Deck.
go, huh, that's weird if it was normal. I've seen it before. Just saying. But
See, Stream Deck. I can do it. I can operate all this from the Stream Deck. It's really nice. I don't have to touch the buttons. I can actually pull this little. So I built a.
Alrighty. I want to.
Built a tablet Stream Deck out of an old tablet.
Speaking of tablets, right? I got a brand new tablet. I got a brand new iPad Pro. That isn't nice. Yeah. Your screen isn't shattered into a million pieces like mine, dude.
Yeah, well, then
dude,
you know, you should be more careful with your stuff.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have dropped it if I didn't have a new screen protector to put on it. Like, it's so ironic how I drop it and it lands.
But that's why you don't put screen
Dude,
protectors on, though, like 8 feet above the surface up a ladder or something, though, right?
It is my kitchen, but dude, like, it landed perfectly face first on the kitchen floor, like. And I just looked, I'm like, oh no. I pick it up and it's just fucking, the whole thing is just pieces of glass, dude. And so I take it to Apple. They're like, yeah, we don't replace iPad screens. They're all just molded into one. There's no, like, replacement.
Oh, yeah, because that would make it something that you could fix. And they don't want you to have to be able to fix that. Fuck that. You can buy another one for $1,000.
They fixed my phone twice. I mean, you know, because my screen broke. You know what I'm saying?
I know, but every product of theirs has moved slowly, inch by inch, towards non-fixability. They even Linus Tech Tips and Louis Rossmann got together and did a video where they took apart that new, what is that computer they have where it's a really good computer, don't get me wrong, but it's like the monitor is the computer, but they have a really high-end one, like a pro version or something. Anyways, they opened it up and took it apart, and even Linus was like, and Louis Rossmann, same thing. He's like, why in the fucking world would you build this like this? Because you can't even clean the dust out of it. And the way they built it, there's literally no way at all to take the dust out of it. Even like you can't open it. It's not made to be like you have to crack into things that are not meant to be cracked into to get into it to properly clean it. And Louis Rossmann said 100% of the time what's going to happen, because he's the one that fixes them, right? And they hate that he fixes them. He said 100% of the time what's going to happen is that fan is going to fail and he said then they'll have a failure of either GPU or their CPU. And he said it's not because the computer failed. He said the GPU and CPU should be fine. In fact, how many times I've had one GPU fail, probably because I was overclocking it, and I've never had a CPU fail. That'll be because of overheating. So he said what's happening a lot of times is they bring in the product and it's thermally throttling because the CPU's spiking in heat-wise, and it's because the fan has failed because it's caked in dust, because they didn't make it so you could fix it. And the thing is, come on, man. They've been building these computers for like 20 or 30 years. They fucking know damn well that is going to get caked in dust. You can't tell me that they're so stupid they don't realize that fan is going to get so caked in dust it'll never. I mean, shit, my computer running right here, I have to clean the fucking grill off of it every month, or else it's literally like a filter of dog hairs and shit. So I mean, there's no way that they didn't think about that and go, ha, 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 ha. It'll last about 5 years and then the fucker will just fry. Like,
yeah, speaking of that, like Missy's stand-up computer, her Lenovo, it just starts.
That's the one. Like, it's the one where it stands like they stand up like that. Lenovo's probably done the same thing. Oh fuck, it'll just burn and they'll have to buy a new one.
It's just a laptop with a gigantic memory card. Really, it's all it is.
Well, it's a stand-up laptop. Exactly. It doesn't flop open. That's all.
Yeah.
It's just an open laptop sitting on your table.
Yeah, like
but Apple has a pro version though. Apple has one that'll. Yeah, but Apple has one of those. It's like a full version PC, I think. Like a full, got a full size GPU in it and everything, but you can't get to some of the parts. They're baked right in, just like a laptop, and you can't get to them at all. And they designed it so you can't even clean the dust out. In fact, Linus was like, fuck, if you blow the dust in here, it literally just mashes it farther into the machine. Like there was literally nowhere where you could put a blower, like a duster, and have it blow through in a direction that would actually get it out of the system. Right. So like no matter what, you're always just packing more and more dust into it. That's just poor design. Come on, like they either. Yeah, you can get the phone. I can talk. I'm good at it. Fuck, I can talk, boy.
Yeah,
boy.
Yeah, just talking. I'm gonna mute myself real quick.
Mute yourself, you dirty son of a bitch.
You dirty whore.
I love you, Frank. I love you, Frank. Frank. Sorry. Ear warning. Sorry. Well, it only shows the yellow. I did okay. Here, hold on. I'm putting Purell all over myself. Oh, that was really not pleasant. Kind of burned a little. At least there's no coronavirus in my lungs anymore. That was a lot of alcohol. Wow. Just off gases, eh? Woo.
What?
I was putting Purell on my hands. I rubbed it down my face, but then like I didn't realize what level of off gas would occur off that at that exact moment. It was
so
get high off that, boy.
So I go to Apple, right? And they're like, we can't replace the fucking screen, but we'll replace the whole iPad Pro, brand new one, the 11-inch iPad Pro, 500.
We had Apple Care, obviously.
Hold on. So it's a 512 gig iPad Pro that I got, right? Thing's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank God, goodness, I got it from Verizon, through Verizon, and because I did that, and it's not only Wi-Fi, it's a cellular one. So
I've got one of those.
Yeah,
I've got it like a Google that's the same thing. It's
awesome.
It's got mobile internet if you need it.
With you wherever you go. It's great.
Yeah, and I've got an unlimited plan now because Canada's finally starting to get unlimited plans. So that told my wife, like, well, before it was on my 7 gigabytes, and I was like, okay,
7 gigs.
Try to be.
That's it,
dude. We live in a different country than you. Okay, so Canada, I'm going to tell you right now, we pay the highest amount in the world for our telecommunication, but we have the 4th best telecommunication service in the world. You have the 13th.
Yeah, I mean, I do 7 gigs worth of shit in about a week and a half at least.
Yeah, but I'm just telling you, that's the way it breaks down. Canadians pay the most for telecommunication for our cell phones and stuff like that than any other country in the world, in the developed world, or I think in the world, for like how much we pay for what we get. But you got to remember, we're like the 3rd largest country in the world, and we only have 38 million people living here, and they provide us I can drive across my entire country and use my cell phone and use data and pull out my phone, and like I can't go to the bushes up in the north. But like I can drive anywhere across the country along the highways and stuff and pull my phone out and use it.
Not yet, but I mean, there's at least 600 nanosats fucking flying above us, about to be.
Yeah, but they don't do. I mean, you need a receiver. Those are going to be like for communities where they'll have like a receiving dish, is the idea, I think, and or is it supposed to be individual household receivers?
It's an individual receiver about as big as a pizza box.
Yeah, okay, but you know what I mean. Is you're not. You'd have to have.
I'm just saying
like,
you can be like at Point Nemo out in the middle of the Pacific and still get Wi-Fi. Is my point.
Yeah, but you'd still have to. Yeah, but you gotta have infrastructure to put that thing down. You gotta have a. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I see what you're saying.
If you're on
though,
a
is
boat,
you could, if you have a generator and you have, a power source and a battery bank, whatever. If you have something to power it, you could use this. Yeah, I agree. No, you're right.
I'm just saying.
But the reality in the north, of Canada is even when you go to communities like I went to a community, Barons River. You had to get just out of the city here. I had to get on an airplane, like go to the airport. And how did it? Yeah, that one. Some of them you have to float plane into, so I'm just trying to make sure I get the right story. No, this one, yeah, went to the airport. You get on like a metro turboprop, and it flies you up to Barons River, which has got a little dirt landing strip and everything, and it's a community of 800 people, mostly indigenous. But there's some there's a store up there. They need refrigeration and stuff like that, so we go up there to work sometimes. But they had, like, when we went up there, we brought our company cell phones, and some of these communities, you open the phone and you've got, hey, we got signal. And this was before data was a big thing anyways. So this is let's face it, we haven't had data that long in life. If you really think about it, it's not even been 10 years. And we've been using maps and stuff on our phones. So, I mean, this is like 8 years ago anyways. Well, it's been about 10 years maybe at this point that you'd be able to get data. And like, yeah, you remember the old flip phones? You could use the web, but it wasn't the same as a fucking touch screen.
Oh, it was horrible.
Yeah, it was terrible. You might as well fucking just wait till you get home and do it in real life on a real computer.
I remember the first time, dude, I was able to do that with my Nextel. I was like, this is the shit. I'm on the web.
Well, don't get me wrong. In a pinch, you could look up a fucking phone number and like wait for it to load in and be like, there it is on the tiny little fucking screen. Like, 222.
Now I can, now while I'm watching
screen about this big.
Yeah, and like now while I'm watching fucking TV, I can do it while I'm watching TV in the upper.
Oh no, I know. The wife's watching TV and you're sitting there and you're watching a news report on your personal, flat screen high definition television that we all hold in our fucking hands now. And it's funny too. You pull out a phone that you got, like the first smartphone you got, and you're like, man, that was a big phone. Then you find it in the fucking drawer one day and you put it inside the phone. You're like, holy shit, it's like a baby.
What was your
because we're using such big phones now.
Well, what was your first touchscreen phone?
HTC Desire HD. It's probably right here.
You still have it?
Oh fuck! I don't throw that away. That's my girl.
Don't you trade
That's my
them
fucking
in for
girl,
new
bro.
ones? Like
what? Here's my work phone. Look at, I'll show you my work phone.
I lost my work phone, dude.
This is the work phone I was talking about. Yeah. And smartphones did exist when they gave us this, but why give all the guys smartphones? I just needed a fucking phone.
They still work. I just lost
it's
mine.
It's still a phone.
Dude,
it's still, and look at it fits in your pocket. Oh, have you seen the new folding fucking screens? That's the future. We're all going to be folding our flat screen phones and putting them in our pockets in 10 years.
Dude,
like give it 5 or 6 years, all of us will be going like this with our big flat screen, then fold it up and slide it into our pockets.
Awesome,
It'll be the shit. Then we don't have to put this big piece of garbage somewhere. It'll be half the size of this.
Yeah, it looks like a folded up wallet, but it's a phone.
Yeah, it looks like a fucking wallet. Just don't sit on it, or so you're gonna hear crunch.
It's so yeah. If you watch episode 2 of Black Mirror of the last season that just passed, where it was so crazy. I think it might have been episode 1, but basically, it was 2 friends later on in life, and it's that new game technology that kind of exists right now, but it's in its infancy. But this was kind of like a couple years in the future where you put like a dot right here on your temple, right? And then you got the earpiece, right? And then and then all of a sudden you're in the game, you know what I'm saying? So he was like Ryu, like Ryu in Street Fighter, right? Ryu or whatever he looked like.
Yeah, I'm listening. Right. Keep going.
So, and his boy was a chick. And they fight a little bit, but then they just start fucking. And it's just this dude and this chick fucking the entire episode. But meanwhile, it's him and his boy, and they're just like passed out in the couch like this, right? But they're in the game fucking. Like, it's nuts. And the one guy was married, the other guy was not married. The guy that was married was getting all fucked up. It was really good. It was a really good episode, man, and it's like the
I
reason
don't condone cheating.
the
I
reason
love my wife.
love Black Mirror.
That's not sarcasm.
No, I'm just saying the reason I love Black Mirror is it presents new tech that is 5 to 10 years out that we will, open that weed. Anyway,
I'm still listening. Keep going. Fuck.
I'm sorry. Where was I? Oh yeah. So the reason I like Black Mirror so much is they take tech that's 5 to 10 years out, and then they create situations, like 5-10 years out from here, boost
Talking.
something or other, and
Yeah, I'm just showing the audience. Keep talking.
it's basically going through different ethical shit and that we're gonna have to eventually deal with, and basically showing you, the evils behind all the new tech that people are probably going to. I mean, let's be honest. Like, I think the third electrical appliance ever made was a vibrator. So that's what I'm saying. Like, the first,
And then
like probably the first or second Android ever made is just going to be a fuck bot. I think they already exist.
No, they do though. Well, but okay. But I mean, isn't that the same thing of what that pounding thing is? And I mean, girls can put those vibrators in now that like you pay. You're like, it's like, ooh, 10 coins.
No, I ordered one, dude. I ordered one.
I think it's just, fuck, dude. If I was a chick, I'd be so rich,
dude.
I'd have a fucking fans only. Oh my god, I'd be like, who wants to do some debunking? Rub those things together. I don't blame them. I mean, I don't. I'm jealous, frankly. That's where a lot of my hate in that subject comes from. If it sounds like that ever, it's jealousy. I'd fucking suck my way right to the top. You have no idea.
I'd be such a whore.
I would be the biggest hoe ever. It doesn't matter. See, what's your name, Mr. CEO? Hello,
dude.
Like,
I would be
yeah.
such.
Oh yeah,
dude. My only purpose in life would be sucking my way to a sugar daddy.
No, dude, I would be, because my job would be just being sexy, because that will buy you everything you need. Because listen, I'm not saying, just so I don't get SJW here, I want to clarify. I'm not saying that women are only good for that. Nah, frankly, we live in that world now, so you shut your fucking face. I'm not saying that women are only good for that. In fact, women are, in some countries, women are leading the STEM fields and stuff like that. And I believe that is probably pretty standard because women put a lot of effort into what they do. But I'm just saying that if I was a woman, I would take the easy route. Well, I'm not even saying it's that easy. I'm just saying I would take the route of looking gorgeous and sucking my way to the top. That's just all there is to it. It's just a reality. I've got to look deep inside myself and say, Scott/Beaver, what do you really want to do with all of your time? And if I think deep and hard, it's fuck. So I just got to imagine that would extrapolate out no matter what my sex was, dreams. But I'm not in a hurry to switch anything right now. I'm happy the way I am. I mean, this is the way I came down, and I feel very hetero. But I'm just saying that had I been switched in a different position, don't worry, I'd climb that fucking ladder. No pun intended. Anyway, this is what I'm good for.
I'd climb that bar graph. I'd make it to the top of that bar graph.
And then slide my way down it.
Making sure I get deep throat 9 before I go.
Oh, this is terrible. Fucking terrible content. I'm just going to bury this. I already played the coronavirus song, so it's like, bury it.
Okay. So if you were a woman, would you allow anal?
I mean, that's kind of always a bit of an out only for me. I mean, in my current existence as a man, but I don't know. I mean, everything's always in with them anyways, right? So maybe it's not much of a stretch. I'm not sure. Statistically, they say that more women have done it than admit to doing it.
That's very true.
When they do actual studies where they
because I
don't know how they gauge that. They had some, I don't know. There was a way to try to determine what the falsity factor was, what their percentage of people they believe lie about it. I don't remember the details. It was like a fucking Cosmo. Listen, I was not hunting down details on women. I was reading a girlfriend's fucking smut mag. Because let's face it, that's what a Cosmo was. Are they even in existence still, Cosmopolitan?
I have no
They
idea.
were teenager smut mags, is what they were. You'd have like a Stuff or an
Beat.
FHM or like a Maxim, and it would have girls on the front. It would be like they'd be all like strutting out and the
Maxim.
sexiest thing ever. Yeah, and you get people to be like, I don't know how appropriate that is, but meanwhile, you'd have a girl there. They'd be like, meanwhile, over there, 2 feet to your left is a girl reading a Cosmopolitan, and on the front, it shows a girl in makeup, but then it says like, 10 ways to get your best orgasm ever, right on the fucking front of it and everything. Like it's just full of all kinds of, and that's fine. Girls want to read that, that's fine. But then don't criticize a guy because when you opened a Stuff magazine, I don't know if you remember Stuff magazine. Stuff was just literally, so Stuff was owned by FHM and Maxim. You remember Maxim? I think it's still in existence maybe now.
I had a Maxim subscription. Fuck.
Well, Maxim is awesome, but so Maxim started Stuff magazine, and all Stuff magazine was sexy chicks. Like, you get the same thing you got out of Maxims. You get sexy chicks, and you get centerfolds and stuff like that that are, wearing clothes, not much, but they're clothed, quote unquote. But what it also was, Frank, is like really awesome fucking watches and like cool like gadgets and like hoverboards and like tech things, and it was all stuff that guys wanted in a magazine, things that you gave a shit about, so it wasn't full of and there'd be the odd article about something, but I mean, it was just like a little bit of reading mixed in with like pages of like, holy fuck, look at that. I mean, I think you could even buy things out of the magazine if I remember correctly. I'm not sure, but they would show off like cool like James Bond watches, like not like, you know what I mean, not to that level, but like, fucking watches that had extra features in it and stuff like that. That were like really nice watches, and all the ads were like high-end colognes and suits and
It's
fucking
crazy.
toys and
Dude, it's crazy how
man toys.
It's crazy like
Very
how mechanical watches are a thing of the past now.
You know what? They can
Maybe-
eat shit because I love a mechanical watch. Fuck
I mean,
them.
Well, I mean, I
There's
never
still
wore
lots. You know what? A
watch
fine
before.
watch is still going to be a mechanical watch, typically.
I mean, honestly, like, dude, like this Apple Watch, right? Like, it's the first watch I've worn in 20 years.
Yeah, but how often do you have to charge that fucking thing?
Every 2-3 days.
Okay, because when I last owned my last watch, I wear it. I could wear it for months without charging it because it's got a battery in it. So yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Is it's stupid. Like I got this Fitbit bullshit
dude,
right here,
dude.
too.
Like,
And you gotta fucking
my
charge
point
it
being
like
is,
every
my
few
point
days.
being
So it's
is,
stupid.
dude, the
Like
watch,
Fitbit.
dude, holy shit, that thing, throw that thing away. It's tracking you. You ever
Oh fuck!
you ever see the fucking map that was released? That
I don't care, Frank. What are they gonna find out I did? Beat off somewhere?
No, it
I
was
mean,
just,
what are they gonna get out of my life?
it was just interesting because the guy there was an employee in Fitbit that released a map that tracked people's movements for like
but
say
it
a month.
depends
Hold on,
on
just
how.
let me finish this. For like a month. And it revealed like 5 secret underground bases the U.S. had in the desert. Because you just see like squares, and then you go there and Google Maps and there's nothing there. It's just desert. It's like, why are people walking in big squares out there? Oh, oops.
But I get what you're saying with that. Yeah, I'm not
Oopsie-daisy.
worried about that. I mean, it's like when people, because the other thing is like when you're using your phones, like that's how Google knows how the traffic is, and like all of a sudden it'll say like, oh, you get a pop up like an alert, and you look at
Dude,
your phone and it says
Google Maps
oh,
is
by the way,
shit.
your route home is really congested. Take another route. Well, it
Fuck
knows
yeah.
because it's tagging all the phones in traffic and figuring out where they are, right?
Oh yeah,
So-
I mean, yeah, because they figure.
Well, you know what I mean, right? A lot
The
of people. I get
phone
what you're
on-
saying. That was a
yeah,
that
but
was
I
a
mean,
shitty thing, a shitty like weird. Yeah,
But,
because
like,
that's the same reason
Fitbit-
though why.
Fitbit, you don't think that you're being tracked by Fitbit with it.
I
But
mean, anything that's going to tag into your phone is going to be able to track you. I mean, it's just.
it was
I'm not-
just,
I mean, the
it was
thing
just
is,
interesting how the map showed where people were going, and it was like lines, like how if somebody puts up a camera like down near the South or North Pole, and you see the.
but if
you
those
see the
same people
star
drove a
streaks.
Tesla to their facility, Tesla would also see them driving out into the desert, which a lot of those high end people probably do to drive things like Teslas and things.
Right, but they're
So-
not. But they're not outlining literally the hallways of every secret underground base the military has.
Yeah, but I'm gonna ask you, how did they get GPS signal underground? I can tell you that my phone can't tell me where I am when I go in an elevator. So this is why sometimes those things need to be taken with a bit of a grain, a little bit of skepticism, you know.
Look at the map.
Sometimes they're
and
blown.
take
I think that
yourself.
what you're saying is probably by essence true. I just think that maybe some of the details like that might be a little bit of bullshit, because I can tell you right now that your phone's not going to know. It'll know where you entered the mountain. It's not going to know where you are in the mountain because it can't access a GPS signal. So
They-
unless
they-
they've set their Wi-Fi up to do location
not
service,
saying-
which I fucking doubt it.
I'm not saying it showed you the outline of NORAD because that's under a grant.
Oh no, I know. I get what you're saying.
But
And if it
I'm
was
not
a
saying
base
out
that
in
was
the middle of the-
exposed to.
out in the middle of Death Valley where there's just sand. I mean, how?
But what I'm trying to tell you is you won't get satellite signal like inside like a room. So like if you're because you don't have access to the satellites, they're not above you. Like, will you? I can't.
What do you
Will I
mean?
get satellite signal right now?
Of
Like,
course.
because can I cut through the roof?
Yeah,
If I go to my map right now, will it know where I am?
yeah.
So it can go a little bit through objects then, but I know
I
if you're
can-
going to be in an underground
track
facility or
Missy
something, there's
with
no
my
way it's going to
phone.
track you, because if you go inside a brick building, you won't be able to access the map probably.
I know exactly
Yeah, but see, here's
what
my thing. Does it
exam
actually know-
room
Hold-
Missy's
okay, but hold
in.
on, Frank. Does it? Here's the problem though. Does it actually know where I am based on the satellites right now in my basement? Or does it know where I am based on the fact that it knows where I came into the house and it knows that I am in this general spot, and then it taps into your GPS and shows you the direction you're facing? You don't need a satellite for it to tell you which way you're facing, but you will for it to tell you when you're driving down the road. And I can tell you that if I leave my house and start walking, it won't show me moving for a few seconds because it's engaging the satellites. It'll take like 10 or 15 seconds before it even shows me moving. So that's the thing. Like, I don't know that you can, because like
Missy's-
you can bring up, there's a way to bring up, like there's a way to bring up, for
put it this
instance,
way,
whether or
Missy's-
not it's,
Missy's doctor's office is pretty substantially big, right? And I
Okay.
know what room she's in pretty much most of the time. Like, I can just bring it up on my phone and go to my text and go to info, and it'll show me where she is. And I'll text
okay,
her.
well, yeah, but if you're near a window, then you will absolutely get satellite signal through a window. You can get it. You can definitely get it
Okay,
bouncing
I
through a
mean,
window.
if you're in a broom closet,
I mean, I know
I'm
that I can walk up to a
suppose
building's
you
window
can.
with my phone and place it up to the window if I want to make like certain phone calls, even if they're not working inside a building. You go up to the window, you use it. But like, this is probably dead as a motherfucker. But like,
I
this
mean,
is
well,
this is
look-
an E-Trex GPS.
If anybody wants to check this out, just go to Secure Team 10, and I think it's like he brought it up last June or some shit like that when it was released.
I'm just saying, you got to take everything with a bit of skepticism. That's all, because like, I'm willing to bet, like, I think I'd have to put an app on to do it. I'm not going to do that right now, but I'm pretty sure if you looked at your GPS, and you could easily figure this out. All you have to do is put an app on here that tells you like which GPSs you're locking. I mean, there's probably a setting in here to find it. But anyways, if you find just an app that shows you, and I've had them before where it just shows you like which GPSs are actually locking onto and how strong the signal is, you'd be able to find out right away if your phone was locking onto any GPSs. Because I don't know that it can. Like, I'm downstairs in my basement. I'm only one floor down, and I have a hard time believing that it actually can hit a GPS from in here. Because I couldn't use my satellite dish from in here. I'd have to go up to the roof and mount it. It wouldn't work from in here. So, and that's a satellite.
True enough.
Signal.
I mean, but who knows?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm just saying, Frank, sometimes I think that the essence of, so for instance, just to back up what you said, just to give you credence here and go with you on that, that is why the U.S. military stopped using DJI drones, because DJI drones are right from China, and they call home and tell China because they know everything. Remember, they take the GPS. So my dad has the DJI Phantom Pro version, blah, 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 right? It's got sonar on it and GPS, all that shit. It's got like its own radar built on it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
What drones you
A
talking?
drone.
Well, exactly what kind of drone? you
DJI,
talking?
like the main company in the world that makes the best drones out there. DJI Phantoms.
I mean, I use Parrot drones personally, so I don't know.
So DJI makes the Phantom. They make the Mavic. The Mavic's the one that folds up. You can put it in your backpack, and when you get out there, you can just they pop it out and throw it in the air, kind of
it's
thing.
Kind of like a selfie
So, and that's-
drone almost.
Well, like it fold like the props
It'll
come out,
follow
they
you.
fold
Yeah,
right
exactly.
in. So it's so it's like a
got this
module
big.
basically, and you could just stuff it in your backpack. It's like a oval or
Yeah, I mean, like, look,
turns into
I
a
got
thing.
the X-wing drone right there, or right.
No. Anyway, so what I'm
there,
getting at is anyway. So DJI,
yeah.
listen, DJI makes the best drones out there. Okay, now I'm sure that there's a company out there that's up and coming, or maybe is just started, and maybe that statement's even wrong now. But there was a time when they made the best drones. They're from China, but they're fucking good. Like my dad's has GPS, radar, sonar, or fucking sonar's underwater, but it has like radar. Yeah, that's what it was, not sonar. It has radar. It has lasers. It emits a laser pattern around itself as well, and it has GPS. And so, like for instance, let's say he's out in the field here and he takes off. So he takes off the ground. Well, it GPS coordinates and goes, okay, well, I was facing north and I was right here. This is where I took off, right here. And it remembers that. So then he fucks off. He goes off a mile, 2 miles. It's got like a 3 mile range, 3 kilometer maybe. I'm not sure exactly
good.
which. I might be off on that again.
really
But anyways,
good.
you fuck off with it. You're out there. Now it will determine if it's used up enough battery power, and it'll start warning you. You know, like you use up this much battery power. Time to start thinking of coming home. You know, based on what you've used, how far you've gone, you got to start coming back. But if you get to a certain point where it hits 50%, it just goes coming home. So if it determines it's far enough and it needs to come home, it'll just take over and start coming home. So Frank, on the way back, you can set all these parameters. Say, I want you to come home at 3,000. You know, if you got obstacles in the area, you can say if you engage home parameters, come home at 1,000 feet or 500 feet or 600 feet or whatever, and then do that. So you come home this altitude and then come down. But let's say it's coming along and there's a tree in front of it. It will come up on the tree, and as it gets up on the tree, it'll hit it with the radar, see the tree as it's coming, and as it gets closer to it, it'll hit it with the laser grid, picks up the tree, it'll stop, it'll go to the right, check the object. If it still sees object for a little bit, it'll stop, it'll go to the right, left, whatever, it'll go to the other way, it'll check, and then when it sees the edge of the object, it'll here we go. And
Is this your idea of what a drone looks like?
Well, it's got 4 propellers. So
you just look
I'm
funny
not
doing
susceptible
that.
to that stuff.
You just
So
look
anyways,
funny doing that.
but you obviously don't know that they do this. Like it'll do it autonomously. You can just put the control down. In fact, you could lose contact with it.
I understand,
And they're designed so when they lose contact, they'll do the same thing. They engage come home protocol. So they'll start coming home because like the remote could have died. Who knows, right? So they'll start coming home and they will literally avoid objects. Now, the only thing that they will not avoid is telephone wires, very thin sticks on trees. They won't necessarily see them because the laser pattern might cut right through it and not really see it and all that kind of stuff. But they, generally speaking, are pretty intelligent and they will come home automatically and everything. But back to the original subject. The U.S. military one day all of a sudden was like a hard stop. They threw them all in a fucking pile and lit them on fire. And it was because they figured out that they all call home. Every one of them calls home. And they not only like record locally, like I took off from these GPS coordinates, but then they like, when you take your stuff and you plug it into the computer or anything like that, it's like, blah, 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 blah. It's like, here's where I was. So then basically the U.S. military was using these everywhere because they're so good. That's why the U.S. military was using the DJI drones because they're so good. And they were using them for doing same thing, secret military bases and remote bases around the world and stuff like that. And then they figured out these things are telling home where they were. And they were like, fucking burn them! Like, fucking,
smash
and that was it. It was like, oh yeah, stomping them in the fucking streets. Basically, it was like a hard stop on using Chinese drones. And then after that, I don't know what they're using.
shotgun and blow the thing out of the air.
Let's face it, it's not a technology that American companies couldn't make. So what happened is after that, they probably found an American company that could produce something similar.
I mean, I thought you were talking about like the Predator drone or something. Like
no. I'm talking
I'm
about
like,
little.
I don't think
little
China
tiny,
makes
little
those.
tiny guys. Sorry,
dude. Did you ever see one of those like in person? One of those Predator drones?
They're pretty big. I know. It's
They're
basically a little
humongous.
aircraft. I know.
Holy shit! Like, dude,
Yeah, you expect them to be smaller, and then you see one, you're like, that's basically a full-size fucking airplane.
Yeah, dude, it literally. I could ride the fucking thing.
No, I know. You could get on.
Yeah, like
saddle it and go. Ride on its back.
Honestly, dude, like, and that was the drone. It wasn't the Predator drone. It was the stealth
to be honest
version.
with you, the payload that it carries, if you didn't put a payload on it, probably could carry you.
Well,
no problem.
Well, no, the Predator. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the Predator drone does.
Well,
carry
those
payload.
missiles are going to
Yeah.
you're going to weigh at least 200 or 300 pounds by the time you put a few missiles on it.
Exactly. Yeah,
Or put a bomb, a couple bombs. So
well,
you could
they don't
absolutely
use them
saddle that
anymore.
bitch and ride it, probably.
Yeah, I mean, like they don't use the Predator drones anymore. They got the new stealth looking one.
Well, whatever those, but you know what I mean. Either one, they're gonna have the same payload. So I mean, as long as you
Exactly,
didn't
yeah.
fuck up its airfoil too much and you stayed low, you could
But-
fucking saddle that bitch and ride it.
But I mean, the thing is, like, Iran took over one of the drones like a month ago, and just flew it into a mountain.
Did they really?
Yeah,
Did that actually happen? They
fucking
managed to hack one
They
remotely.
hacked into it. Yeah, because it's always because it's always sending back. You know, like it's always
Yeah,
you know,
of course. And here's the
transferring- yeah.
thing about that's scary. America, unfortunately, has been the last decade almost. They've been kind of getting militarily complacent when it comes to new technologies and stuff like that. And they're actually, it's kind of scary because when it comes to hacking and stuff like that, America is actually like as a military power, they're actually not doing so hot.
Well, you know what we did to
and you've
Iran.
got countries like North Korea and Iran that are actually able to do things
Well,
to
you
their
know-
equipment that by rights you should not be allowed to do.
Well, did you hear about that hack that we did to Iran to their power plant and how we fucked it up?
Oh no,
over-
that was involving Israel as well. There was and that was basically genius level.
It was awesome,
That was,
wasn't it? Dude, like,
Yeah,
like,
no, because
it was
they
like every
infected,
2
they
weeks.
infected the. I know exactly what they
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
They infected the. I don't know if they did it remotely. They don't really know how they got it in there, but they infected basically the centrifuging and it wasn't for their power plants. It was
like
at a
53
power
of them.
plant.
Yeah, I think it was 53.
Well, it was at a
centrifuges.
power plant site, I think, but it was either way. It was for enriching uranium, but it was not for enriching power plant uranium. It was for enriching bomb uranium,
Yeah.
and so they. But did you hear how they fucking did it? Like to the level of geniusness.
Yeah, dude. It's
Like-
fucking, it's deep.
Oh
Go ahead.
god. Okay, so for anybody who doesn't know, it basically in a nutshell, they wrote this program that got in there, and it sat in there for like a month or something like that, and it recorded. It took recordings essentially and copied data of like what normal procedures looked like when it's doing its centrifuging and it's enriching
many
uranium, how many
RPMs
RPMs they were, what RPMs they were running
That's what
at,
they
how
were
the
controlling,
results.
Yeah.
Yeah, temperatures, everything. It just recorded all the information coming into it, and it took note of it. And then when it did its thing, it basically started playing back like a loop back of the fucking data it had pre-recorded. So while it was fucking up their shit, it would just take a recording of normal numbers from like 3 weeks ago, and it would
show
fuck
it.
their stuff up. Yeah, it would overspin it and fuck the centrifuge up and damage it and break not only fuck up their materials, but it would fucking break the centrifuge, causing them to have to fix it.
Yeah.
They knew they were fucking working too, because they had emails where they couldn't figure out why it was breaking all the time because it was working before that, and every time they'd go to look into why it was breaking, they couldn't figure out why it was breaking because all the data is normal. Everything's normal. The centrifuge is spinning normal.
And it was every 2 weeks for like 50 seconds, I think. Every
They would
2
basically wait for them to fix it and get it up and running again, and then they'd smoke the fucking thing again.
I know.
It was,
53
and
of
I don't
them.
think it was being talked to. This thing was
53,
programmed
dude.
on this level.
53.
They said
It-
that
it-
involved multiple governments, likely. Like that was a clandestine level
caused-
software program.
They caused like 70 million in damages.
Oh, but not only that, they spent like a year or two like fucking
Yeah.
their centrifuges
Dude,
up, and like
they-
it literally
they
cost
put-
them like just years of research.
They-
Like they were just like, "Ah!"
They- dude,
couldn't
they-
figure out for the life of them why it wasn't working.
They put this
I was
virus in there,
genius.
dude. They planted this virus deep in there, and they just was like, "Okay, it's set. Walk away." You know,
Don't be scared.
Set
Franco.
it
Don't
and
disappear.
forget it, right? So anyway, my point being is, yeah, they just sat there and like fucking, it just did its thing, dude. Like, but then Iran was like, "Okay, motherfuckers, you want to hack into some shit?" And Iran hacked into what? Like, I can't hear you. You disappeared.
I told you I was disappearing. Calm down.
Sorry.
I'm smoking drugs. YouTube doesn't like drugs.
My bad.
Okay, Frank?
I got 2 computers, though. I keep forgetting that the stream is like delayed 20 seconds.
God.
My point
I'm
being,
going to have to put a Frank's triggered warning on here.
anyways, yeah, if you do that, I'm like, okay, he's fucking doing illegal shit. So
I could put my Just Eating thing up. Look at.
So then Iran, Iran hacked into like 50 banks and some shit and just lost everybody's money. What was it? I think it was PNC, TD, Bank of America. It was like five.
I
or
don't
six
remember that.
major
Oh,
banks.
I do vaguely remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Iran hacked into a bunch of banks and just lost everybody's money. I mean, like, we all got it back in like 5 hours. It was a joke. It's like, oh, good job, Iran. We'll just reset all that, you know. It's all digital.
Well, they just get reset essentially.
Honestly, that's all they had to do.
Yeah, but you know what? You look at places like North Korea, and they're actually making a lot of their money off of hacking
Oh, yeah.
corporations and stuff. Like they
Okay.
literally have like a team, like a elite building full of like pro hackers that spend their whole day just stealing money from the world
I know.
and intercepting things.
I know. They drained my bank account once.
That's his claim, anyways.
I got it back
Somebody drained your bank account?
about 2 years ago.
They don't like you Americans. It's probably them for sure.
It was my Bank of America account, and Bank of America was one of the
That
banks.
even stands more likely than just because of the name. They probably targeted it first. They probably assumed it was more important or something just because of the name. They don't know shit, you know?
Pretty much.
North Korea? Oh, God. My mom didn't even know.
The
She
Hermit Kingdom.
was like,
What is a hermit, by the way?
When they got that guy that got shot up at the border, they're like, she's like, he was full of worms. I'm like, well, yeah, they fertilize their food with feces. She's like, no. And I'm like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
look it up. It's called black. What are they called? They call it dark earth or they call it like black earth or something. There's a name for it. It's because most of the world doesn't use it. That's why it doesn't do that. That's why there's a name for it.
You just cannot consume your own fucking feces.
Black soil, is it called? It's black soil. Black soil may refer to fertile black soils found in it's what's it called? What's it called when you
Yeah, like what they found out? 4 tunnels that they've tunneled underneath the DMZ by now. 4 of them, I think.
night soil. That's what's called, night soil. Nightman's calling card. Night
It's to
soil
say
is
like the
historically
numbers
used-
is like
night soil. Night soil has historically used euphemism for human excreta? I don't know. Collected from cesspools. So basically you let it settle, and then you pick all the sediment out of the bottom of it, I guess, and that becomes the because it's sludge essentially, right? Let's see here. Cesspools, privies, pail closets,
they're
pit
fucking
latrines,
starving.
heavy middens, septic tanks, blah, blah, blah. This material was removed from the immediate area usually at night by workers employed in this trade. Sometimes it could be transported out of towns and sold on as fertilizer. Another definition is untreated excreta transported without water via containers or buckets. The term night soil is largely an outdated term used in historical context. The modern term is fecal sludge. Nice.
Yeah, I mean,
Fecal sludge
that pretty
management
much
is an
crazy.
ongoing challenge, particularly in developing countries. You know what I saw at the hog barns? It was really cool. It's this big ass fucking machine where all of because those pigs, man, they fill like lakes with waste because they piss and shit all day long. And like people have no idea. You go by one of those closed up hog barn buildings, there's 3,000 head in one of those buildings.
Dude,
Like I've gone to
there's
little
hog
complexes of
farms
4
all
buildings
over
where there's
here.
like 18,000 head on one little complex. Like it's not even that big.
Dude, if you're within a 2-mile radius of a hog farm, you know it.
Oh yeah, but the way they hog farm now is it's indoor stuff, right? All the buildings are closed up, hogs are inside to keep the disease away from them, and like they piss and shit, and it just goes through a grate, and the grate it basically it's all gravity fed into the cesspool outside, and it just settles there, where eventually they pump the liquids off. Eventually, a lot of it drains away, but they pump the liquids off, and then they have to get the sludges out. Well, I was at one place where they pull the sludges out of the ponds in the bottom. And of course, this stuff is fucking disgusting. Like you wouldn't wish your worst enemy in there. Like it's terrible. The way you just look at it, I threw a rock in one, the way it like ploops into it, they're like, oh, it might as well be fucking motor oil.
It wasn't splash, it was like flump.
Oh, dude, it's the darkest water you've ever seen in your life. There's ducks in there. You're like, that's why you wash fucking the meat when you're cutting up your ducks after hunting them. But anyway, so just to really quickly though, they had this really cool machine where they took with the hard waste out, like the thick waste, and they took it to this building. They literally just poured it in there. They poured it in this like gigantic hopper, and it would like separate what liquid was left, and it would be separated and drained away back into like the cesspools probably or whatever. And then all of the solid, it's basically pure and it depends on what they feed them, I was told. But what that farm is feeding their pigs, they basically end up with like pure phosphorus, which is a fertilizer. The shit is just like compact phosphorus essentially. So like once it settles and everything, I guess, in there. So then they put it through this thing, and it was really neat because when we poked in there, the guy said he said wave at the camera, and I like waved, and he's like, they're seeing you in Copenhagen or whatever. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, like Amsterdam controls that. And I'm like, wow, that's really cool. He's like, yeah, some guy's sitting in a room in Amsterdam running that thing all the way over here in Canada, and basically they maintain it virtually and keep it, you know, RPMs and all that stuff doing. But what it does is all this waste comes in, it separates the liquids, and then it dries, it cooks, it presses it through these pressers, like essentially like it's wringing it, and it wrings all the liquid out of it, and then it heats it up and cooks it into this like dry matter, and it pours out the other side as basically just like you don't touch it, but you could almost like, you know, dig in and pull it out like almost like, you know what I mean? It becomes like almost like dry waste when it's done. So then they can literally like, in this room, it just literally, so this is the part that's fucked up though to me, okay? Comes off this massive fucking 10-foot wide, 20 fucking foot wide conveyor and just comes pouring off the end onto the floor. Just like, this fucking room is full of this shit. Like it's just, and like the big door opens up, fucking like back or bobcat or bulldozer.
Oh God!
Like just fucking a bucket full of pig shit, and it's like, and the room smells the way you'd expect it should smell. Like it's yeah, that's it. And don't get me wrong, you got latex gloves on, like double layered latex gloves, and you just don't touch your
hardcore.
face. When you get really quick in those hog barns, like it's disgusting. There's mice shit everywhere. You'll open a door into a room and the mice will literally you turn the light on, the mice are hitting the fucking walls trying to find a hole to get into before you come in and everything. And like they're disgusting. And even if they poison them and trap them, it's a building full of food that humans don't live in. Yeah, right. I mean, the mice just do their thing. So they're disgusting buildings. It's like COVID land. You just learn not to touch your face. You literally you'll go like this. You'll be like, you're just like,
it's like,
fuck,
my nose is just so bad.
Or you might do this. If your hands are, what you'll do is you double latex glove too. And there's always latex gloves around. They have like a billion Natril gloves. So if you really have to scratch your nose, you just peel one of the gloves off, scratch yourself, or you might take, you know, because you're wearing the barn clothes, so you might just take your shirt like this and just even with the new glove, you know what I mean, the clean glove, just so you're still not touching your face, right, you know, kind of thing. You scratch like this kind of thing because you know the inside of your shirt's been touching you, it's clean. And let's face it, if you were covered in hog shit, you wouldn't do that, but you use some reason. But yeah, it's just you learn not to touch your face, and it really does suck. So you'll take a glove off, you'll do that, and then you go and you'll slam another glove on, because when you have two gloves, first of all, it's tougher. They can't cut through very easy, and when you're working with your hands, they won't cut through very easy with two gloves. You'll slice one usually and be like, oh. But the other thing is, yeah, you can always peel a glove off. So you try to keep your hands clean. We put cardboard down and put things on cardboard so they're, you know, our tools aren't getting dirty and stuff like that. But sometimes, you know, your hand will be dirty, and then if it's dirty enough, you can just take the glove and fucking just peel the glove off. Peel the glove off, toss it in the garbage, go grab a new glove. You burn through gloves when you're in the barns like that.
Yeah, that reminded me when I used to wire new houses when I was like 19. It was summertime, and we were wiring the basement. The basement floor wasn't poured yet, and so we were using, you know, like half sheets of plywood so we could put the ladder on something sturdy, you know, right?
Yep.
And I remember putting the plywood down in the corner and putting my ladder on it, and as soon as I fucking stepped on the ladder, I just felt the ladder go and I unleashed a fucking stench. Holy Holy shit is right, dude, because that's where all the fucking
You know what though? You know what's worse than shit?
carpenters were
Yeah, but you know what's worse
shitting.
than shit? It's grease.
Well, this was just human shit that I fucking.
But honestly, grease. Have you ever emptied a grease pit?
Yeah, I had to climb down to one because the float got fucked up, and I had to replace the
Oh,
float.
you had to
my
get in one?
God.
Okay, I've never even seen a grease
Dude.
pit that big. I'm talking,
Yeah.
but I had to like lean
Yeah, well, I
over
do
one and
grocery
empty
food
it
stores.
with like a pail into another pail with like gloved hands again. But still,
No, I mean,
I
grocery
mean,
food
it was
stores
so
have
bad.
them.
You'd scoop and then try not to vomit. You'd be like,
Dude, the one from seafood, they got the drains and everything.
oh,
Oh my god! Oh my god, dude!
Seafood is
I
bad
have
enough.
a-
You give that garbage like 30 hours with seafood and it's fucking
Oh,
wrecked.
I can't stand working underneath the case, and that's not even that bad. But imagine,
And honestly, you know what smell gets me is that smell that kitchen fridges have, where it's every smell, like a good kitchen. Any kitchen like walk-in fridge will have that smell because there's turnips here and there's fucking potatoes over there and there's
I work,
big
I know, yeah.
log and
Yeah.
there's fucking meat up there.
the frozen ones are okay. It's the refrigerated ones that are fucked
No, the
up.
frozens are fine. You can't smell nothing because everything's fucking frozen. It's frozen solid. It's when you go in the refrigerators, it smells like it's the fucking grossest smell to me. It's that you know exactly what I'm smelling too. You've been in a walk-in
Oh,
fridge,
shit.
Frank. That's why I know.
I'm sorry, I'm just reading a comment from Craven.
Craven's awesome.
Yeah,
move.
I should have used wood today. Oh, dude, you gotta I mean, I've done that too, where it sinks into the ground, but you gotta flip the little footies up, So even if it sinks down, you're all right, The little footies, when they're flipped up, it stops the ladder from sinking down so much.
Yeah, but you guys don't have to deal with ice as much as I do. Well, you might in Jersey a bit, but I mean here
No,
it's like it's always
well,
flipping
we
them
used
over
to.
so the teeth bite in. Otherwise, it just kicks right out. Ah, is the bottom.
Oh my god, dude!
Bolts on you.
For 3 years in a row, I had to put Christmas lights up on this house, and it was like a bi-level, and the ground was not level anywhere. It was just the grade was probably 20 fucking feet to the front of the house, and it went down, and like I was literally like stacking bricks up on one side for the 1 foot, and then the other foot would be on ground, and it wasn't ground, it was all hedges and shrubs and shit. It was fucked up. And I couldn't get on top of the fucking roof to do it because it was too damn steep. What a nightmare. I did it 3 times. And then taking them down. I think like the last year, I just didn't take them down. I said I did, but I didn't. and then I quit. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I just cheap out now. I'm the person with the fucking laser beam. I'm the person with the billion lasers hitting their house. Like, Merry Christmas! This thing cost me $30. Like, fucking, yeah, but fuck you can put lights on their house for $30 or $40. I think it cost me $80. The good one cost $80, but it doesn't matter. Listen, it is hung in a tree for 4 fucking years now, and it's never had to be taken down. I just plug it back in every Christmas. Like literally. Yep. And every Christmas, I wait for it to warm up because it has to warm up, and you go, come on, girl, come to life. And then there it goes, lighting up the whole house with lights again. And the tree keeps getting taller, which is funny because I keep having to fucking climb taller into the tree to go get to the thing. Because you think I'm not joking. Like it's been up there for 4 years. It's a birch tree, so it was young. They like when they get older, they don't grow so hot, but when they're a certain age, like once they get to a certain size, any trees like that, when they're young, they'll take forever to go from a sapling to like something that's 8 feet tall. Then you get to the certain point where they're 8 or 10 feet tall, and then they just fucking take off because their roots are established and they're a nice big tree now. Now they're just on fire.
Do you get pissed off when your neighbors cut down a big old tree?
Well, eventually trees have to die. They have a life expectancy, Frank.
It wasn't dead.
Yeah, but like my neighbor across the road has a big old fucking tree that he hasn't cut down because it's not dead yet either. But it's fucking might as
This
well
thing
be.
was lush.
It's like
It was
limbs
right
on
out
are
there.
falling.
Dude, it blocked the sun till noon. Now, fucking 8 o'clock in the morning, it's just through the fucking windows. I'm like, God damn
Plant
it!
your own tree.
They had the
Plant your own tree.
I wanted to. He wouldn't let me.
Well, but you own your own property.
No, I don't.
Well, then that's not that. Okay, that's fucking just. Well,
I can't
then
own
that's a different
shit. Are you
situation.
kidding me, dude? If I owned anything, shit, you know how many people would want it? About
Fair enough.
right now, 13. Last I checked.
Well, I'm sorry that happened to you, then, Frank. There's nothing I can say other than that.
I
agree.
just get
It is
upset.
nice to keep trees. My dad was cutting a lot of trees at one point. Well, let's put it this way: he wasn't like he was cutting trees. He likes trees too. It says he was not afraid of cutting a tree, but he was never planting trees. And I kept saying, my brother was saying it for years, and finally I've jumped in and said, Dad, he's not wrong. If you always cut trees down and you never plant new trees because he'll just like devastate the new fucking spawnlings that come up and make his new area grass. Like it'd be like, well, the trees died on their own. I'm like, yeah, but Dad, you don't need to then add to the fucking lawn every time.
It's like having a
Like,
kid and then
Jesus
shooting him in the
Christ.
head like he's gonna die anyway. Boom.
Well, yeah, but that's what I mean. I'm like, okay, Dad, but like, if we keep cutting down every tree that gets old and ages out, I said, then eventually you don't have any trees and you just have wide open grass. Like, so
Yeah.
I was like,
And then you get tornadoes.
It's not a bad idea. Well, it's like when it spawns a brand new little sapling, I said, it's not a bad idea to, mow around the sapling. That used to be forest.
You could even
Let it
mulch
still be
around
forest.
it. Put some mulch around it. Make it
Well,
look
that's
nice.
what I meant. And anyways, we did finally break the wall down, I think, and he started mowing around the saplings in certain spots and letting it. Because I'm like, listen, Dad, if one more tree dies there, you can't go in your hot tub without the neighbor seeing your wife's tits, which is my mom. But he's like, that's a good point. And I'm like, see what we're trying to say to you? You can't just keep cutting down trees before your neighbors have a prime view. Like, God.
Yeah,
So,
I just was like, I was so mad, dude.
I finally broke through to my parents that my mom was okay. So unfortunately, my parents were doing the typical. My mom was like, "I would like to leave," and my dad was like, "We weren't going till the end of the month, Diane." It's like,
Leave where?
oh my God, Mark, get over yourself. Just leave earlier than you planned to. I'm sorry, something changed. The world's a little shitty all of a sudden. Just deal with it. Like, you just gotta. I'm like, don't be. I said to him, listen. I said, don't be the old man that dies on the side of Mount St. Helens, going, ain't fucking blown up in my 70 years. Ain't gonna do it tomorrow. Because that's what's happening to a lot of these old people, Frank. That's what a lot of the old. If you get old Trumpers, and for instance, even, but a lot of those people, what they're it's like, I'm too old. I'm too old. I'm old enough to know this is bullshit, kind of thing, and stuff like that. And you're like, yeah, but. You could be 100 years old. This has literally never happened since you've been alive. You could be 100 years old, Frank, and this has never occurred in your life.
Sure.
No. Not like this.
What?
When was okay, listen. The last worldwide pandemic, global announced pandemic, was in 1920. It was the Spanish flu, 1918.
The Spanish flu, right? Yeah.
1918. Yeah,
Yeah.
100 years ago.
Yeah, World War I
102.
didn't help that much with the trenches.
Well, but what I'm saying is this is the same fatality percentage as World War II. So, which is a pretty big war.
This is I was in work Friday and the line wrapped around the fucking store. I'm just
Yeah,
like,
but listen, here's
I'm
the
like,
thing.
it's
I've
not
got
a
this big thing of
snowstorm,
Purell right here because
fuckers.
people were being stupid, and I was
Dude,
like, oh, it's coming.
I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, they're acting like it's a snowstorm. Like, that's how everybody's acting around here, like the snowstorm's coming. Like, that's
But what
how
do
it
you
felt.
mean? Wait. Do you think that it's a bad idea to have supplies?
No, but
I don't understand
but
what's part of that statement that you're getting at.
It was
That's all I'm asking.
what I'm saying is you're right. I've never seen anything like it.
When you say they're acting like a snowstorm is coming, I don't know what you mean.
Okay, around here when a snowstorm comes, everybody goes to the grocery store and just buys everything.
See, because to me around here, snowstorms are like part of winter, so we just kind of
Exactly.
eat food,
dude,
and
when-
watch out the window and go, look, snowstorm.
Dude, if we get a dusting of
but that's
snow
why
here,
culturally there's a difference between where you live and where I
right?
live.
If there's a dusting of snow here, we go, right? Dusting of snow down in Jacksonville, they're freaking the fuck out.
No, I get you. It's like when Toronto has frozen roads, and all of a sudden, like, the best thing to do is get a corner coffee shop, drink your coffee, and watch everybody get in a car accident, because they all drive right up to the intersection, slam the brakes on just like they used to, and they just go, "What the fuck?" Right into the car in front of them. I don't understand. Normally, when I push the brakes, the car fucking stops, because they're used to the roads being really well salted, plowed, and everything, and all of a sudden they're like, "I don't understand. The tires didn't do shit." Like, so, but around here, that's just like winter. That's just life,
Exactly. I mean, like 2 feet will fall in one night. And you go, school. I'm sure school.
Whatever. I got an all-wheel drive vehicle.
Yeah, I'll just shovel my way to school.
In fact, I have fun. I'm out there with my car, like, woo, I've got a WRX. It's all-wheel drive. I'm out there turning off the traction control, going, whoa, 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 like trying to whoa, 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 like, do the old rally thing around the corner.
When it would snow and I was in my Camaro, that was so much fun going to like big open, parking lots.
Well, with all-wheel drive, Frank, you can, for instance, you can do, if you're controlling it properly, you can do such a perfect power slide with all-wheel drive, because it'll slide sideways evenly. Whereas, don't get me wrong, if you know what you're doing with the other cars, you kick the ass end out and do like a spin, on your back end, right? Because of rear-wheel drive. But on all-wheel drive vehicles, it's so cool, because what I'll do is I'll turn off the traction control, which now the tires are just full on. It's just straight right to my wheel. Like, it doesn't do shit. It just spins when I want it to. And because I've got I've got a high-performance vehicle, I could just sit at the red line and just keep my tires kind of like, and keep them spinning as I go around a corner. And the car will slide perfectly sideways, and like you can actually literally do the drift thing around the corner. Like I did it one time.
And then you hit the traction control and you're straight again.
Well, these are always
crazy.
Well, these are always done in an intersection like 2 a.m, sober, obviously. Driving home from like a party or something. You're not tired. You're well within your wits, and you're like, you look around and there's nobody in the mirrors. There's nobody out the windows. The intersection's covered with a nice skiff of snow, and you're like, I'm doing it. And you're like, you got to do a U-turn, let's say. So you come to the intersection, turn off the traction control, and you just do this perfect little like power slide around the corner and fucking take off, and you feel like a boss. So don't get me wrong, you do it the next time, and all of a sudden you're halfway through, and you like catches the asphalt and stops the car in the spot, and you're like, shitty.
Oh, I look
I'm not saying I can replicate it every time as awesome.
I'm getting laughed at now.
You're getting a what?
It's like, I'm the asshole now. I'm getting laughed at.
Who's getting laughed at?
No, I'm just saying when people watch you do it and then you fuck it up.
Oh, yeah. No, I see what you mean. Yeah, well, whatever. You do it when nobody's around because it's safer that way anyway. So,
so anyway, let's wrap this up, buddy. It's been like over an hour, I think. Yeah, so.
Yeah, hour and 17. If you want to start wrapping up, we can wrap up. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's late for you, too. It's 1:25 for you, let's face it.
Yeah. Plus, I got to go, burn. So, but yeah, so I would say, everybody, stay healthy, stay safe. I don't know how else to end this.
Wash your fucking hands.
Yep.
Stop touching your face. Hold on. Wait, I think I've got a picture I want to show everybody if I can get it here real quick then. Frank, you'll love it. Let's grab these.
I'm so happy. Oh, they said the most susceptible people are the smokers. Like, right on. I'm so fucked.
Oh no, I was like, yeah, good. I've got a vaporizer beside me. I should really start stuffing my shit in that vaporizer and using that so I'm not smoking my lungs up before I get a deadly disease that involves all my lungs. Because that's always just, that's good stuff.
I get pneumonia constantly, so I've had pneumonia. Like
oh yeah, well then times. You're the kind of person that this is not fantastic. So I was trying to find the meme I want to show you, and I just saw that somebody sent me, because of course all the coronavirus memes are awesome.
I think so.
Somebody sent me a squirt gun with like Purell label on the side of it.
Yes.
Like a fucking, like it's like a, you know what I mean? Like a squirt gun, like.
No, sorry.
Some of y'all went from do-it-yourself, homemade, natural, all organic cleaning products to Clorox real fast when Corona dropped. That's funny. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the meme I said. I hope it's here. Oh, one of the ones I saw, it's a bunch of guys like this, and a bunch of like teenagers all. And it's like, it says, can't catch coronavirus if you're already the illest.
I'm so fucking sick. I got ambulances pulling me over and shit.
This is okay. Here,
That's a fucking Eminem line, by the way.
I don't. Oh yeah, I remember that one now. Okay, here you go. Here you go, Frank. 1 second. Here. It's for your own good.
I really
you have
need
to
that.
stop touching your face.
I really need that, dude.
So for the people in podcast land, what we were looking at right now is it's actually a very I'd say it's crudely drawn, but it's not. It's really a well drawn picture. It's just like it's obviously just
Better than I
sketched on a
can do.
notepad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sketched on notepad, but I can't draw like that. That the guy's head, he looks like a Far Side character. It's actually really, I think it's well done for just very simple.
It's very comic strippy. I'll give it that.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels like a Far Side Gallery sketch a little bit.
Mm.
Anyways, it says it's just so there's a man there and there's a dog, and the man has a cone over his head, and you can just see the top of his hair and just the tops of what are obviously glasses poking out, like his eyeballs are just kind of like just under the edge of the dog cone. It's obviously like an animal cone, and the dog is saying it's for your own good. You have to stop touching your face.
That's funny.
Which is, and then Frank, you know all the toilet paper thing. Did you see the toilet paper meme at all?
No, I've seen a lot of them.
Okay, hold on. First of all, there is
Everybody's saying
Dum. There is a you can get some toilet paper, by the way. Here you go.
Yeah, these assholes fucking selling toilet paper out of their fucking truck.
This is not real. Look at it.
But
read it.
Half
It's like look at it.
there's nothing left. That is like half a setting right there. I need more than that.
Okay, wait, hold on.
It's funny.
When your grandma figures out that you need toilet paper.
See, I'm cool because I have 4 packages of because I use Dollar Shave Club, and and I use those
just finding one more.
Those butt wipes, those fucking peppermint butt wipes. Hell yeah, those are the shit.
Yeah,
literally. Get it.
I'm just finding one more. There's one that I want to find here for everybody, just so we can all stop calming down about the toilet paper together. Okay?
Yeah, one on this one. Oh, I got you covered, honey.
What are you talking about? Oh, that? Yeah, I see. Okay, well, you know what? Here, give me 10 seconds. I'm just going to send it. It's on my phone, so I'm just going to send it to myself, and then I can grab it just like the others, so it'll take about 10 seconds.
My fucking buddy on Instagram, he made a video. The video starts him sitting on the shitter, and he's got the toilet paper roll, like it's gone, right? He goes, "Oh no!" And then his dog comes walking over. He goes, "Oh good!" And he grabs the dog, and then acts like he's wiping his ass with his dog. It was funny.
Here it is. Perfect. Okay, got it. Just 1 second.
See, I don't have to worry about this shit because I work in supermarkets at night, when nobody's.
Okay, everybody, we need to calm down about the toilet paper. There's been new developments that have happened.
Oh my God, no. It's not transmitted ass to ass.
It's everybody. We need to. Yeah, that's what I needed. Okay. We need to remember that there is. I'm trying to. There you go. Just pull that out for a second. There you go. There. We just need to. Everybody needs to calm down about the toilet paper. There's been a new development. In fact, if anything, it is causing you problems. Get it out of your house. Throw it out on the steps. Call your neighbors. Tell them to do the same.
Yeah, like 300 years ago, they didn't have toilet paper. What'd they use?
You want to hear something interesting about what you're saying right there? We'll end it on this. I know you want to end it, so let's end it on this. Okay, so one thing I did hear from somebody who was a little bit older than me is that a lot of the people, most people, like, here's the thing I'll say is most people just bought an extra bag or two. And if you imagine every grocery buyer in the world buys 1 or 2 extra bags all of a sudden, that is 300%, 200% to 300% of the normal average purchased amount of toilet paper. Right. So, like, the system's really not made for that. There's not like a Narnia hole in the back of a building where more toilet paper just comes out of.
Right.
So the problem is that, people say like, well, that's ridiculous. It's like, well, no, it isn't. And even Amazon. Sorry, go ahead.
They only order in stock as much as they normally sell. So
Well, exactly, or plus maybe 5% because maybe they're anticipating growth. Whatever, plus 2% or something.
Exactly.
Or maybe it's a growing. They're selling more and more of it, so they stock a little extra. But either way, they stock a normal amount. And then even the facilities that are making it, I mean, they only sell so much toilet paper. They don't want to end up having to rent warehouse space to store the fucking toilet paper in. So they also only produce about, the average amount of toilet paper that they usually sell. They don't suddenly expect that people are suddenly going to start fucking shitting themselves to death the next day, and which is not what's happening. Before I keep going there, but people are pretending that's what's happening, so they're not going to, they don't anticipate this. So all it takes is all these people. I think personally that you get the odd person that's buying, ridiculous sums of toilet paper. Like, calm the fuck down, okay? You've got like 400% of your annual amount of toilet paper now, but. I think for the most part, most people have just bought a few extra bags. Because you look at me, you look how quick you go through toilet paper, and it can happen quick. You figure I had a big bag of like smaller rolls, but a fairly big bag that I bought just when they started first talking about toilet paper. And I went to Costco and bought like one of those jumbo things, not because of this, but I had to go there anyway. So I bought one of those big old things of Costco toilet paper. It's enough for a fucking month, probably at least. But and then I said, Megan, why don't you just grab one more thing of toilet paper when you're at the store the next time? And she bought another jumbo thing that was on sale of toilet paper. So we have 2 big jumbo things of jumbo toilet paper, which is awesome. Okay. Well, that one bag that I talked about, the first bag, it's got one fucking roll left in it now. And that's only been 4 weeks. Like that happens fucking quick. And I am the only person wiping my ass with that bag of toilet paper. So like she uses the other toilets. So like what I'm getting at is like that it is, you get 4 humans, especially like an adults with teenagers maybe or something in a house.
See, I'm cool because the big rolls that go in the public bathrooms, and that big
you steal one of those fucking things, roll out.
You mean like 8 of them?
I can't wipe my ass, and that's like using a fucking piece of sludge, a piece of like. You might as well pick up a piece of sandpaper.
I have so
shape
much,
it up good,
dude,
eh?
I have so much paper towels and toilet paper that I took from one of the
stores.
stores.
I see what you're saying, though. You'll make it happen. Don't get me wrong. I'll make it happen.
I took it like a year ago, and I stocked my entire shelves with just one side paper towels, one side just.
You're admitting to theft right now. Be quiet.
I paid for it.
Oh, okay, good. Well, that's what everybody heard, I think.
4 a.m.
But yeah, so but what I was going to say is the end thing I was going to finish on there, because the point I was building to there is, so most people are just buying a bit of extra toilet paper. You get the odd person's freaking out. But what you will notice is that most of the people that are freaking out are either people that are really stupid and just don't think logically. They have no food, but they have lots of toilet paper. But you'll see that a lot of those people that have carts full of toilet paper are old people. And one thing that somebody said to me that we're not thinking about as young people who have not lived through things like wars, things like situations where you can't get access to things. A lot of the old people would say things like, back in my day, you'd be lucky if you could find a newspaper. And they probably weren't fucking kidding. Is the thing. And we always took it as, oh, Brampy, oh, Grandpa, you silly goose, but the reality is they probably were wiping their ass with fucking pieces of newspaper and stuff, which is probably a very joyous event to be doing for a long time. So, like there is a generation of people out there that remembers, like my grandmother could tell you about how the margarine would come with a little, maybe you don't know this, Frank. Did you know that margarine used to come white?
No.
Because margarine is not yellow. The reason that we color it yellow is to make it look like butter, because butter tends to have a yellow appearance, and butter was, of course, first. Margarine is vegetable oil, which we've produced later in our existence as people, as a species, and people didn't like the fact that it was like white. It's almost like, think of like coconut oil.
Well,
or
that's
coconut.
Exactly what it is. Lard. Lard's white.
Essentially. Well, yeah, I guess so. Fair enough.
Well,
but lard's fat though, whereas
vegetable oil.
Whereas this is, but vegetable oil and lard are not similar in that sense. One's animal fat and one's vegetable oil.
Yeah, but for some reason they both kind of end up looking the same, sort of.
Oh no, that's fine. They can look the same, but just in essence they are very different. But okay, I see what you're getting. Okay.
When Missy and me moved in, she bought that shit, and I was like, "Get that shit out of my house." We
Oh
buy
no,
butter in
but
this
you need
house.
lard to make certain things. Like if you're gonna make pastries,
Nope.
you have to use lard. Otherwise, you're not gonna make. Well, you're not gonna make any pastries without lard.
She does just fine with the butter.
Well, you could, okay, but it depends on what kind of pastry. Like if you're trying, certain pastries cannot be made with just butter.
Okay, the butter that we get has that olive oil mixed in with it, so you can spread it easier. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's whatever. I'm just saying there is certain pastries need very specific. Like you think generally you could cook with. Yeah, you can replace like sugar with Splenda, but there are recipes where if you don't use sugar, it won't work because there's a chemical reaction with sugar or with the fat in this. Or
we're getting
like
off
the first time you make pot, but
which we're supposed to, but yeah.
Well, the first time you make pot brownies, I was going to say, is if you use like a vegetable oil because somebody told you can, it's not going to work because it needs to be fat soluble. You have to use butter. And so like, that's an example of like, because there's a reaction between the fat soluble THC and the butter. And if you use the margarine, it's not fat. It's not a fat. So then the THC it doesn't cook the same into the butter and you actually literally don't get high. You can eat. So the way that went down is you eat a whole batch and you're like, this doesn't do fucking shit. And you can dump as much weed as you want in that batch, and it won't do anything. But then the next time, okay, so then I'm sitting with my brother, and he goes, remember, this is legal YouTube here. He goes, no, you have to use butter, not vegetable oil. And he explained the chemistry of it. I'm like, okay.
No,
he's like, yeah, so just do it with butter. He said, do the exact thing you did with butter. So I did the exact same process, but with butter. Fuck, I was sitting down here with my wife. It was in this house. I was sitting on that couch. And this is the first time I made my good batch of anything. And I ate 2 cookies right off the bat because I'm like, last time it didn't do shit. Let's just nom nom fire those 2 cookies in there.
No.
And then, oh dude. So like Megan's like,
hot did you like
an hour or two later? It's like an hour later. She's like, how you feeling? I think I'm okay. I'm gonna go get a drink, eh? And I like walk ahead of her. I go up the stairs. She comes about 30 seconds behind me. She's like, what do I hear? And she comes around like, what's going on over here? And I'm like, in the stairwell, leaned up against the wall, trying to go up the stairs, laughing. And she's like, are you having troubles? I'm like, I can't walk up the stairs.
My legs aren't cooperating.
I was like, no, the legs are fine. It was just I couldn't stand up straight, so I was like leaned against the wall, basically like rubbing the wall as I walked up the stairs. And like, she just heard me giggling as she came up on me, and I was giggling because of the trouble I was having going up the stairs. Of course, I was fully aware I was baked as just cooked out of my tree at that point. So yeah. Anyways, that's all I was going to finish by saying there about the whole thing is that the grandmother used to knead the butter color into margarine. Now we all get margarine that comes yellow, and that is food coloring. If they used to have the margarine would be full of margarine, and there'd be a little dollop of food coloring they would just drop on the top, I guess, just when it was done being filled up. And I guess literally they would pull the thing out, I don't know if it came in probably didn't come in a plastic tub. I have no fucking idea how stuff came at that point, but you unfolded it or you whatever, and you would knead the color into the margarine because your family expected yellow margarine, so it looked like butter. So you would use your hands, hopefully you washed them, and you would literally just like squish the fucking color into the margarine so that it looked like butter. Which is pretty disgusting when you think of somebody mashed. But back in the days, they whipped those shit out on the fryer. Like, the fucking skin flakes make it taste better.
My grandfather ate sardines. We don't eat sardines.
Oh,
anymore.
fuck. My mom eats those sometimes. It's disgusting.
Oh, my goodness.
Why don't you just puke in your own mouth? It's disgusting.
Oh, God.
Anyways, we can end it on that note. Is there anything else you want to say, Frank? I will say what I'm going to say. Brainy Beaver on YouTube. This is Way Off Topic Radio. You can also find me on Twitter at @shaved_beav if I don't get blocked by those fucking flat earth evangelicals, if you will, those social justice flat earthers. If you say something, they try to get you saying nasty things and get you blocked when you say poopy things about them. So, yeah, they're a bunch of tools. It's fucking. I'm like, that's all you got. Just get us blocked on Twitter. Good job, Flat Earth Flat.
Flat Earthers.
Yep.
Go fuck
Earth Flat. Earth Flat. Like, yeah, that sure proves that. Earth Flat. Yep. SJW.
Yep.
Anyways, Frank, you got anything to say, buddy?
Fuck all snowflakes. At @LLNKZ on Twitter. Links. Yeah. Way Off Topic Radio on Twitter. Just drop the A. Yeah. Just didn't have enough characters for the name. And, you know where to find us since you're listening to this already. So thanks, appreciate it. And that's all I got to say.
Smash that like button, all 16 people that watch this.
And God save Tom Hanks. That's all I got to say. And that's all I have to say about that.
I will end it by saying that they are in the age category of about 8% fatal, and hopefully he doesn't have hypertension because apparently that's not great.
Well, I just hope they're okay, and that's all I have to say about that.
Well, of course. I'm just saying, Jesus.
It was a Forrest Gump quote. Get it? That's all I have to say.
I don't know my Forrest Gump, obviously. So you just whoosh. Oh, was that a joke? Did it go by?
Yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
I can hear it. I can hear it looming around my ears.
All right, I'm going to do it again.
Do it again.
Oh, okay, all right. I hope Tom Hanks is okay, and that's all I have to say about that.
Now I hear it. I see. I got it this time. I can hear it now. You gotta say that's all I gotta say about that. Jenny.
12 Jennies.
If you did that, Frank, I would have it would not have went by my head. I can promise you that. Jenny. Sorry.
Oh yeah, and I saw the meme of we know what Jenny gave Tom Hanks.
Oh my God! Did you really? That's amazing.
I'm like, that's so fucking wrong.